How did a brand built in silence by two former child stars become the most powerful mystery in modern luxury? The Row refuses interviews, shuns logos, and keeps its founders out of the spotlight. Yet Paris buyers, fashion editors, and even TikTok cannot look away. While other labels flash logos and chase virality, the Row built a billion-dollar empire on restraint that once earned industry ridicule. What made silence their greatest weapon? And why did the world finally pay attention? Ashley Olsen's search for the perfect T-shirt began as a private experiment. In 2005, she and her sister Mary-Kate cut, stitched, and reworked fabric in their New York apartment, determined to create a T-shirt that fit every woman, regardless of age or body type. They tested each prototype on friends, family, and women they met, gathering feedback in person, adjusting the drape and shoulder seams by millimeters. The process was methodical. Dozens of samples, countless fittings, and no shortcuts. The goal was not to invent a trend. The goal was to solve a problem. Fit, fabric, and feel had to be impeccable. By the time they finalized the 7-piece collection in 2006, the Olsens had assembled a capsule of essentials: a t-shirt, cotton sateen leggings, and a cashmere tank dress, each stripped of logos, slogans, or decorative flourishes. The fabric was sourced for softness and durability, the tailoring precise, the palette neutral. Everything was quiet, deliberate, and built to last. There was no intention to announce their names or faces. The product alone would carry the message. Naming the brand was a final act of intention. They chose the Row, a nod to London's Savile Row, where master tailors had defined the standard for bespoke menswear since the 19th century. This reference signaled seriousness, not celebrity. The Row would be about craftsmanship, not personality. When the line launched in 2006, there were no press releases or interviews. The Olsens let the clothes speak, setting the stage for a brand that would grow not through spectacle, but through patience and precision. Is luxury found in the precision of a hand-stitched seam, or in the quiet confidence a garment inspires when worn? Imagine standing in front of a rack of clothes, each piece crafted with care, but absent of logos, slogans, or the usual signals that demand attention. What draws the eye, and what lingers in the mind, the meticulous work of artisans, or the sense of belonging to a story that few are invited to join? Consider the world of high fashion, where noise is currency. Billboards tower over city streets, social feeds fill with sponsored posts, and celebrities parade the latest designs. Yet, in the midst of this spectacle, the Row remains silent. No glossy campaigns, no red carpet declarations, only the subtle weight of cashmere, the drape of silk, and a name that whispers rather than shouts. The Row's refusal to play by the rules is itself a statement, one that invites a different kind of attention, one that asks for patience, for curiosity, for a willingness to look closer. For those who find meaning in the details others overlook, or who are drawn to the quiet power of restraint, this approach resonates. The Row's silence is not emptiness, but intention. It is a pause that allows space for reflection, a moment to consider what luxury really means when stripped of spectacle. Is it the legacy of craftsmanship passed down through generations? Or the rare feeling of discovering something that feels entirely your own? Do you believe luxury is about craftsmanship or about perception? If you enjoy behind-the-scenes breakdowns of fashion power, please like this video. Sometimes the most powerful message is the one left unspoken. In that silence, a new kind of value emerges, one measured not in noise, but in the lasting impression it leaves behind. Barney's New York placed one of the earliest bets on the Row, ordering the full 7-piece collection for its Madison Avenue flagship in 2006. Buyers, used to brands chasing attention, found themselves quietly impressed by the precision and restraint of these anonymous essentials. There was no celebrity fanfare, just a redacted purchase order and a handful of samples that felt different from anything on the floor. Early skepticism ran deep. Editors questioned whether two former child stars could deliver real luxury, or if this was another celebrity side project destined to fade. But as the first deliveries landed, something unusual happened. The clothes sold out. Customers returned for duplicates, asking about the fabric, the fit, the absence of logos. Word spread among stylists and retail staff who recognized the quality before the press did. Within months, the tone in editorial offices began to shift. One fashion editor, after handling the cashmere tank dress, admitted in print that this was not a vanity project. The construction was serious, the intention clear. The rose pieces started to appear in magazine credits, quietly, without paid placement, cited for their cut and fabric, not their connection to a famous name. The industry's gatekeepers, once wary, began to acknowledge the discipline behind the silence. Barney's reorder requests arrived faster than anyone expected, and rival retailers took notice. The rose validation did not come from a viral campaign or a celebrity endorsement. It arrived in the form of sell through numbers, whispered recommendations, and the rare moment when a buyer or editor admitted they had underestimated what was possible when marketing was stripped away. The clothes did not just sell, they stayed in closets, worn and remembered, proof that restraint could carry its own kind of power. Fall 2018. The Noguchi Museum in Queens, New York stands silent before dawn. Its galleries, filled with Isamu Noguchi's stone sculptures, are not the usual setting for a fashion show. There are no velvet ropes, no photographers jostling for position, no music thumping from behind blackout curtains. Instead, guests receive a simple email, arrive at the museum, but do not expect a seat with your name on it. There is no seating chart, no hierarchy. Editors, buyers, and stylists drift through the space, unsure where to settle, forced to choose their own vantage point. The tension is palpable. Accustomed to front-row assignments and orchestrated spectacle, the audience is left to navigate the room on equal footing. Presence matters. When the show begins, the only sound is the soft echo of bare feet on the polished concrete. Models move slowly among Noguchi's sculptures, their pace unhurried, their bodies grounded. There are no shoes, only sheer tights or nothing at all. The decision to go barefoot is not a gimmick. It is a refusal to distract, a way to connect the wearer to the floor, to the material, to the moment. Every step draws attention to the drape of a coat, the movement of a sleeve, the fall of wool and cashmere in muted shades of sand, black and ivory. Barefoot and deliberate, phones are nowhere in sight. At the entrance, staff quietly ask attendees to check their devices. There will be no live stream, no Instagram stories, no instant recaps for the outside world. The present is reserved for those inside the room. Some guests fidget, hands restless without screens. Others scribble notes in small notebooks, trying to capture details before memory fades. The absence of digital distraction heightens every sense. The weight of the air, the hush of the crowd, the subtle interplay between garment and sculpture. Attention sharpens. The venue itself shapes the experience. Noguchi's work, organic forms carved from basalt and marble, becomes a silent collaborator. The models weave among the sculptures, their movements choreographed to avoid collision, their silhouettes echoing the rounded edges and negative spaces of the art. There is no soundtrack, only the ambient noise of the city filtering through the museum's windows. The effect is immersive, almost meditative. Time seems to slow. Immersion follows. Without assigned seats, the traditional power structure dissolves. Editors accustomed to dictating trends stand shoulder to shoulder with buyers and stylists. There is nowhere to hide, no curtain to separate the brand from its audience. Every guest is both observer and participant, forced to look closely, to pay attention. The silence is not emptiness. It is a living code, shaping how the clothes are seen and remembered. Equality is enacted. When the final model disappears behind a partition, there is no applause, just a collective exhale. The show ends as quietly as it began. In the days that follow, word spreads not through official channels, but through whispered conversations and handwritten notes. Editors struggle to describe what they witnessed. Buyers place orders based on memory, not photos. The Rose Fall 2018 presentation at the Noguchi Museum leaves behind no viral moment, no headline-grabbing stunt, only the lingering sensation of having experienced something rare, something that demanded presence. In this silence, the brand's identity is both protected and revealed. The Margo bag sits at the center of the Rose quiet power, not as a logo or a billboard, but as a data point. Its silhouette, a softly structured tote with belted side gussets, protective metal feet, and an interior toggle closure, offers nothing for the eye to latch onto except the material itself. Matte, grained calfskin, shaved thin for lightness, is cut and stitched with a precision that leaves no room for distraction. There are no monograms, no hardware that calls out its maker. The design is so restrained that, in the hands of another brand, it might disappear entirely. Yet the Margo does not vanish. Priced above $6,000 at retail, sometimes climbing past $10,000 for rare finishes, it sells out within hours of landing online or in boutiques. There are no advertisements, no influencer unboxings, no staged paparazzi shots. Instead, there is a wait list. At the Rose Madison Avenue flagship, staff quietly record names in a handwritten ledger. Online, restocks vanish in minutes, leaving only a blank page and the suggestion to join the list. No numbers are published, but resale platforms tell the story in sharper relief. On The Real, the Margo appears in bursts, often at a premium of 30 to 50% above its original price. A large black Margo, purchased at $6,800, might fetch $9,500 within weeks. Vestiaire Collective shows similar patterns. Taupe and mushroom shades, especially in the larger sizes, can command double their retail value during peak demand. Listings turn over quickly. 90 to 100% of available bags sell within a month, sometimes in just days. The Real's own reports for 2024 place the Margo at the top of their quiet luxury category, with a 40% year-over-year increase in volume. Scarcity is not an accident, but a lever. Distribution is tightly controlled. Some boutiques limit purchases to one bag per client, and allocations for new colors or sizes are reserved for established customers. There are no public drops, no countdown clocks. The Rose silence is enforced not just through absence, but through methodical rationing. The result is a paradox. The Margo signals status precisely because it refuses to signal. It is recognized only by those who know what to look for, a kind of password among the initiated. On TikTok, the bag is dissected in close-up, its stitching and patina scrutinized for authenticity. But in the world of luxury resale, its value is measured in percentages and timestamps, not impressions or likes. The Margo's performance is empirical. It sells out without spectacle, holds its value, and moves through hands by word of mouth. In a market obsessed with exposure, it is the absence of noise that becomes the proof. The Margo does not need to announce itself. The numbers do it instead. Access to the row is tightly managed from the ground up. The brand operates 5 boutiques worldwide, in Los Angeles, New York, London, Paris, and a discrete location in Asia. Each space is designed to feel more like a private gallery than a traditional store. Walk-ins are rare. In most cases, appointments are required, and when clients arrive, they are greeted by name and led through collections in quiet, uncluttered rooms. Store managers act as gatekeepers, balancing inventory and demand with careful precision. Pieces arrive in limited runs, and staff keep handwritten ledgers of client preferences and wait lists. There are no racks overflowing with product. Instead, select items are brought out upon request, reinforcing the sense of scarcity. Online shopping was not offered until 2019, and even now restocks appear without warning and disappear within hours. Wholesale is reserved for a handful of high-end retailers, with strict controls on quantities and display. Every step, from boutique to showroom to e-commerce, is calibrated to restrict access, maintain tension, and ensure that desire always exceeds supply. This is not just a business model, it is the architecture of demand, built on the quiet discipline of saying no. In luxury fashion, exposure is often treated as the ultimate currency. Brands like Gucci pour millions into campaigns that light up social media, drawing over 1 billion impressions in a single season. Influencers post sponsored looks, celebrities attend launches, and logo-driven drops flood feeds with instant recognition. The logic is familiar. The more eyes on a product, the more valuable it becomes, at least in theory. Yet, when market analysts compare the numbers behind the noise, a different picture forms. The row, with its absence of marketing and refusal to chase trends, quietly achieves something rare. On resale platforms, pieces from the row retain up to 80% of their original value, while high-exposure brands such as Gucci see typical depreciation closer to 40%. The Margo bag, unbranded and unadvertised, frequently sells for more on the secondary market than it does in boutiques, sustained by scarcity and word of mouth rather than impressions or likes. This contrast has become a case study in what economists call costly signaling. For some, a logo is a shortcut to status. For others, discretion itself is the ultimate display. Luxury that whispers instead of shouts, recognized only by those who know. In this landscape, visibility can dilute value as quickly as it creates it. The row's restraint turns absence into a form of presence, letting silence do what spectacle cannot. Not everyone sees the row's silence as a virtue. Detractors accuse the brand of manufacturing exclusivity, arguing that limited access and high prices turn scarcity into a barrier rather than a badge of quality. The debate sharpened in 2015 when a group of former interns filed a lawsuit claiming they worked unpaid, raising questions about who gets to participate in the world the row has built. The case settled quietly, but the critique lingered. Is restraint a form of discipline, or just another way to gatekeep? Others point to the celebrity paradox. While the Olsens avoid endorsements, their pieces appear on figures like Kendall Jenner, Jennifer Aniston, and Michelle Obama, proof that even in silence, fame finds a way in. The row's refusal to leverage these moments is deliberate, but the effect is unmistakable. The clothes gain cultural weight whether or not the brand claims it. Yet the industry's highest honors have landed at their feet. The row won the CFDA Women's Wear Designer of the Year award in both 2012 and 2015, recognition usually reserved for legacy houses. These wins did not come from marketing, but from the judgment of peers who measure quality by craft, not by noise. In the end, the arguments swirl, but the evidence remains. The row's influence is felt everywhere, even as its voice stays quiet. Today, while luxury brands chase viral moments, the row grows stronger by staying silent. In a world obsessed with exposure, scarcity now signals value, and quiet is the new loud. As $6,000 Margo bags sell out without advertising, the question is not who sees you wearing the row, but who understands why. The future of luxury may whisper, not shout. What do you think? Timeless brilliance or calculated exclusivity? Share your take below.